Hello, this is Tanyag. I want to thank Groundswell Agency, the partners Ali and Chris, for allowing me to do this video interview. Thank you. I hope and have faith that I do get a shot, and hope and have faith that I do get this position. So it's a video interview on a series of questions. So let me start off with question number one. What inspires you? Inspiration for me comes from different forms, different events, different activities, different people. Inspiration comes from my son getting out of his comfort zone and basically trusting me to come off this ledge, a 5-foot ledge, and he jumped off and he trusted me. That's inspiring because he believed in what I was asking him to do, and he smiled at the end. He goes, "Hey, Dad, that wasn't that hard." I said, "It isn't if you have somebody who trusts you." Inspiration comes from reading books, success stories. Inspiration is coming from listening to like Michael J. Mayer talk about his road to success and how the hardships are. Listen to Tony Robbins talk about how he started. Just listen to people in general because everybody has a story and there's an inspiration in everything. It's just I look for that because I really believe that it is as small as a 7-year-old. It's as old as, like, I was talking to my father, who recently had some back injury, and when he was able to say, "Hey, Dad," and I said, "How you been doing?" I said, "I went out and I walked like 1.5 miles with my walker and stuff." That's inspiration because he's been in bed for like a couple of days and in pain. So to me, inspiration is as simple as just looking at people, places, and events, activities, and see if there's a background to what's going on and how it changes and how it becomes better, and how I can see the struggle and how people are always moving ahead, and they're being pulled to the next level, pulled to be the best who they can. So I look for that all the time. When have I been most satisfied in my life? It's when I had a former partner and I were in a team. We're grossing over about 180, 190 each. We're making, had a great business, top in our consulting business and the franchise. Was going to church. Had 2 kids at that time. Wife was working part-time. I was working full-time. Things were just, money was not an issue. We're enjoying life. That was for the most satisfying part. And that lasted probably about 1.5 years, 2 years. It was great. The other question here is, if you got hired and loved everything about the role, are you happy with your pay? What kind of offer from another company would you consider? I wouldn't leave. I mean, I'm one of these guys that if I believe in the mission, the vision, know the people really well, and they're always constantly moving and supporting people and helping people get to the next level, I don't leave. I mean, there was always a saying that people don't leave companies, they leave bosses. That's true. I mean, if I love what they do and what they serve and the pay is decently good, I'm not leaving. I believe I learned being 50 years old, it's all about being part of a team and being part of that team and knowing who's in it, what their goal and objectives are, and how they help people. That's how I am. If I had to describe the color of yellow to a blind person, let me think how I'd say this. I would close my eyes and I would say, and picture how I would be if I was them. And I would say, yellow is a color that you can't see, but you could probably feel. In your lifetime, have you ever been happy? Have you ever been feeling good? Have you ever been joyful? Have you ever just heard something that put a smile on you? That's the color of yellow. Yellow means happiness, enlightenment, satisfaction. It's a feel-good type of color. Feel good type of color. So when you're happy, smiling, joyful, you hear things that in your heart, it just makes you feel good overall, that's yellow. Another question: if we were hiring for a position for this job, what would you look for? I would look for someone who not only is good on the camera, but is allow the person to speak. I think a lot of times when you're sitting down and talking to the person, most people, there's always somebody overtaking the conversation versus somebody just asking questions and letting the person speak. And sometimes the person has a hard time communicating their message, so they need somebody who understands people, understands how to pull that message out of them, how to help them take their words and make it in a way that has an impact. And then I think the other thing you got to have somebody who loves people, who has a deep desire to have them spend time growing, have them spend time, that they love working with people, they love talking to people, they love seeing people succeed. This is a role, I believe, is you work side by side the person. Your success is their success, not your success is behind their success. Meaning that they're the star, you support them. You work together as a team. It's an interdependent relationship. Interdependent, you work together, but there's no one who stands out, but you stand out as a team. And I think you have somebody who doesn't have an ego, but has a servant heart, who really just wants to take somebody and have them explain their message or the story in a way that resonates with people. What's my superpower? If I had one, I think my superpower is just getting to, if I had a superpower, I would want a superpower to basically hear what people are really saying in their heart. I think, we say some things, but we don't really mean it. And what's in our heart is how we truly feel. If I had a superpower, I really want to know what's in people's heart, because I think logically we may do the right thing, but if our heart isn't right, we're not going to do it. So if I had a superpower, I want to know what's in people's hearts so we can talk it out. Because a lot of times, we are in situations where emotionally we have to make decisions. We're in situations where it's an emotional decision, but we have to make a logical decision, not an emotional decision. And a lot of times we hide how we communicate because we can't talk out what's in our heart. So my superpower was what's on that person's heart. Let's talk it out. Let's let me whisper to you and say, here's what your heart's telling you. Am I right? Yeah. So why do you feel like that? Why do you think? Why do you feel like that? Why? What's the emotion behind it? Let's talk it out. Let's think about the opportunities, the solutions, the struggles, and what's the logical thing in here that you do. Because if it's illogical, it's possibly long lasting. If it's emotional, it's going to be short at most. Because once the emotion works out, people go back to the way they know. And if I had a closing question I would ask is, what it makes you think is, how would you know if you have the right person or not? How would you know? I mean, I think, if I was interviewing for a co-host, is how would you know if you have the right person? I looked at a pretty good interview process. You have, that worksheet was long, but it was worth it. And then you have this video. But how would you know if you have the right person or not? Would you test them and have them interview, or do you want a client, or when somebody's really good? I think the question that makes you really think is, how do you know? And I think that's the hardest thing, is because this position is something that it represents your brand, but it represents your true mission. This person is an ambassador of Groundswell Agency. This person believes in the mission and vision and carries it out. So my question is, how do you know? How will you know if you have the right person or not? How would you know? Are there certain factors, certain non-negotiables that you have to have? So that's my question. So again, I want to thank Groundswell. I want to thank the partners, Ali and Chris. This is a very short video. So I hope and have faith that I do get the shot at being a successful co-host. Again, thanks again. All right, bye.